So where we are right now is the Tesla Motors factory. It's where we make the Model S, and where we will be making the Model X and a number of other cars.
Well, when we first started, we had self-funded the company. Myself and Steve just started working on this as a project. We were lucky enough to gain some traction and got some coverage, I think, on Slashdot and a few other blogs at the time. And that kind of, I guess, raised the interest of the venture capital community, and they started reaching out to us.
You know, I picked Sequoia based on the fact that they're just different. When I first met Doug, I knew that he was different than any other person I'd met in this whole venture industry. And so I thought, if we could get together with Doug, this would be a huge deal.
I'd actually met Mike Moritz at Sequoia when I was looking for funding for my first company, Zip2. And Mike ended up declining to invest in that company, but then it ended up doing fairly well. So the second time around, when myself and some others were starting PayPal, which was originally called X.com, I went to see Mike, and he decided to invest basically I think in the course of maybe 30 minutes or something. And that was it. And then Mike wired $5 million to our account without really actually having signed anything, just following like a real short meeting. That was it.
The company started, you know, in a basement, in a garage. I drove up and down the coast of San Diego County trying to get people to use our software. And then once we got 10 or 12 people starting to use it, we actually tried to sell it. And once we had a customer, then we went and got some money. We started to build the company, and it's been growing ever since at about 100% a year clip.
Things grew like wildfire. And we went from startup to offering the website in a year, and then a year after that we had 1 million customers. And then a year after that, well, a little over a year after that, we IPO'd and then sold to eBay.
So Sequoia helping us find a CEO is the most liberating thing that happened in my entire career. I'd started the company, and about 6-7 years on, it had grown to the point where I really knew I was being ineffective. I was just being an acting CEO or a pretending CEO. Luckily, I had a lot of really smart people working there that took care of themselves, but it wasn't the job for me. I just didn't have the skill set. So Doug said, you need to make a decision, Fred. Are you going to be a CEO or are you going to be a product guy? Which do you want? And I thought about it long and hard. It took about 3 months, and came up here. Doug gave me a tour of the valley. I met some great CEOs up here, and I thought, there's no way in God's creation I want that job. I don't have the skills and have no desire to even acquire those skills. So if we can find a great CEO, then I can do what I'm good at and what I'm most passionate about, which is building products. And that's what's happened. That's how it's played out.
I think we are in a unique position with YouTube, where we had some traction, we had a product, we had rapid growth. What I think he provided, Sequoia provided, was not only guidance, but structure that would allow us to remain focused on what really mattered.
Even after, with the sale to eBay, I was the most reluctant of everyone to sell. In fact, I tried to convince everyone that we shouldn't sell. But even though I was the largest shareholder in the company, I only had 13%, so I couldn't like force people not to sell. And then the other factor was that like the rest of the team was really tired after working non-stop for almost 4 years. So if everyone else is really tired and kind of wants to sell, it doesn't make sense to try to block it. So, but I have to say I was not super keen on selling even at the $1.5 billion level. But I think Mike also agreed that if the senior team just felt really exhausted, then there's just no way to continue, because you got to have the will to fight.